Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Today is Monday, February the 7th, 2022. We are streaming the City of Madison Board of Public Works meeting live on our YouTube channel, also recording it. It'll be on our website, Facebook pages. I'd like to welcome our new clerk treasurer, Kathleen N. Rampy, also known as Katie Rampy, from formerly of City Council. So welcome to your first Board of Public Works meeting. Clerk, we'll have a roll call.
Carl Eaglin.
Here.
Bob Courtney.
Here.
And Dave Carlo.
Here.
All right, Board, you were presented with the minutes from the meeting dated January 18th. Are there any comments or amendments needed to the meeting? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Brian, no adjustments today, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on to unfinished business, there's a couple of things here on the agenda. One is an update on the insurance. At the last meeting, we had a presentation from Gardner, our insurance broker, with regards to our rates. And we did approve at that meeting agreeing to award the 2022 insurance to, get down here to the last, to Chubb, which is our current insurance carrier. I did indicate there that although the premium was quite a bit higher than we were expecting, that we would continue to negotiate that. We had a meeting toward the end of that week after the award of insurance was made, and we were successful in negotiating our insurance premium down through a combination of just reduced premium and changes in some of our deductibles. We ended up with about a approximately $35,000 savings from what was presented at Board of Public Works. So I'm happy that that went in the direction that it did, because often it just goes north instead of having our premiums reduced. So I want to mention that. And then I have here also on unfinished business, Wells Drive. I'm not sure if that was going to come up on your list or not, but as you know, we had been working with the property owner at the Wells Drive property that was destroyed by fire a little over a year ago to do a demolition. The demolition had been done, but the cleanup itself had stalled out over the course of the past month. So no communication with the owner of the property, but our building and planning department has notified them that our intention is to go ahead and hire a third-party contractor to do the cleanup so that it can be done. And hopefully that will be arranged this week, and residents in that neighborhood will see a difference in that property.
I drove by this morning, Mayor, checked, and there hadn't been any progress in the last 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. It's actually been about a month since there's been any progress there. So anyway, hopefully we'll have a better report at the next Board of Public Works meeting and get that site cleaned up. There's a couple of blighted properties in that neighborhood that we can't disregard, and so I'm happy that the owner voluntarily demolished the structure, but now we have to proceed with the cleanup. All right, moving into new business. We have a street closure request for the Madison Running Club 10K. Is anybody here representing Madison Running Club? I know we have quite a bit on the agenda today. Some of these events will take place summer or fall, so we will table the Madison Running Club 10K. If we have a motion to table that, please.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we table the resolution.
Okay.
I'll second Dave's motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on to River Rat Rodz. River Rat Rodz, and we have Kenny Washer and Commissioner Little here representing the River Rat Rodz Club.
Since we've got somebody, I'm gonna try to straighten out a little bit.
Okay.
Is there any change?
Same question.
Okay. So this.
That's a streamline.
Do you know what resolution number?
5.
Okay, this is resolution number 5-2022, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, for a street and parking lot closings for the Riverfront Run Car Show, and that is to be held Friday, May 27, 2022 through Saturday, May 28, 2022.
Good morning, gentlemen. Tell us whatever you'd like us to know about this, and it was a very successful event last year despite the cold weather, if I recall correctly, but floor is yours.
That was our 10th anniversary, excuse me, 10th anniversary, would have been the 11th, but the way it was. And even with the miserable weather, we had 416 registered cars, so we're looking forward to trying to break 500 at one point in time, but we worked hard and diligently. Kenny's been a big part of it with the rest of us, and I think we've done well. Everybody has fun, and that's the whole point of the show.
It was a great weekend despite the weather. That was also opening weekend for Crystal Beach because I remember how cold it was, and it was cold swimming, but we did have swimmers come out that day, that weekend.
The website's been updated, and we are pursuing sponsors at this time. I think we've already got our title sponsor wrapped up, so we're going to be pushing hard, reaching out to a little farther to get more cars in here this year.
Still need volunteers at the gate.
Well, sure. You going to help?
I will be there.
I'll be there too. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun because you get a first-hand view of all the cars as they're coming into the event venue.
Yeah, we'll have carts again for those that need help assisted walking. That's been a big hit also.
And we'll do the opening ceremonies for Memorial Day with the Legion, as we have in the past.
Fantastic.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 5.
I'll second that motion.
Any comments or questions from anyone here in the audience? And our street superintendent, Tony Sorrells, you have a comment or question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure Kenny doesn't paint on our streets.
I will not paint on the streets, I promise.
Okay. It's that season again where he gets to ask everybody who has an event on a city that we're closing, doing street closures for. It's a good question. Thank you. All right, any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. You guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for what you're doing there. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for the streamline. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, the next one is number 6, it's Mad Paddle Brewery. It's a resolution of Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, for a parking space closing for Mad Paddle Brewery. And this is for parking for food truck vendors to operate on February the 5th, February the 11th, February 18th, March 5th, March 11th, April 2nd, May 7th, June 4th, September 3rd, October 1st, November 1st, and December 3rd. And it's out
Good morning.
in front of their business.
Jerry Wade, Mad Title Brewery, 301 West Street.
Jerry, we have the resolution in front of us that describes the parking space. Tell us a little bit about, maybe what's brought you here today.
Sure. What's brought me here today is that we try to encourage food at Mad Paddle, and one of the ways we do that is inviting food trucks to come set up on a Friday or a Saturday. And so we've had somewhat success with that. There's not a lot of food trucks in Madison per se, so typically the food trucks are coming from VV or Seymour or sometimes Louisville to set up at Mad Paddle. Our challenge has been we put up cones to market for the food truck. So say with your food truck, you'll call me the night before and say, Jerry, I need you to block that space out for me. And so we'll put those cones up, and then that's become an issue because we've had some neighbors complain that it's not legal for us to put the cones up, and in some cases even the police have been called to take the cones away. So it's been a chicken and the egg thing. So then we try to get a number of cars, get friends or workers to park cars out on the street, because I think we're told it is legal to park a car there, and then we've got to time it just properly to remove the cars for when the food truck is pulling up. So we would love a different solution on that, and my understanding that the current solution is to be here today and to provide the dates in advance. The mayor and I have talked about that it sure would be nice if there was a way to maybe complete a form. So let's say, Joe, that you called me this week and said, hey, I can come this weekend. Well, I'll miss the Board of Works meeting if I understand it. I won't be able to do it for this weekend. So it'd be great if we were able to kind of complete a form and come over and get approval and say, hey, we've got a food truck that wants to come over Saturday. Can we get that approved and put our cones out?
Right. So myself, Chief Wallace, met with Jerry. We're trying to really, as Jerry had indicated, figure out a way to work out food trucks. Our ordinances really aren't conducive to the modern environment that we're in with the relevancy of food trucks. We have a peddler's ordinance that applies to lots of different things. Food truck vendors who do come into the community, they do apply for a peddler's permit. They also have a health department inspection, but it doesn't go far enough to really talk about, you know, where they can be, how long they can be there. And so we're trying to figure out the best way to reserve a spot, because we know that, you know, we do want them in our community. We don't know really how to regulate them yet, but this is a policy that City Council has agreed to take up this year. As you know, across the community, we often see dumpsters in different areas blocking parking spots, and there is a dumpster permit process, but there isn't something like a food truck permit. So we thought the best way to do it was try to work with as much lead time as possible, so that, you know, if there is a concern that's expressed to the police department, they know that the Board of Public Works has reserved this spot, and this is but generally it's in the late afternoon and evening, and they're not coming here at 7 o'clock in the morning unless it's a Saturday. So, but we thought this was the best way right now to fix a policy issue that we have, while the actual policy matters working its way through council.
If we approve this, I'm sure there will be an electrical supply from your building to the food truck.
90% of the times, because we prefer not to do that.
Right.
So we prefer to use food trucks that have their own self-contained power.
Right.
But for example, I think it's the pokey truck here locally, they need to plug in. So we've decided to go ahead and start accommodating that plug into the building.
Okay, but you will cover that for safety. I mean, it's gonna
Yes.
lay across the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
so we cover that cable up.
Okay.
But it's really our preference not to do that, and I'd say 80 or 90% of the time, the trucks that come don't have that.
That's a little
But
generator and all
they
that.
have their generator, but since it's so hard to find food trucks, we've had to turn some down because we told them they couldn't plug in. So we've started saying yes to the plug-ins, and whatever we would need to do to meet your guys' needs on that, we'd be happy to do.
Right. And this is the one spot directly in front of Mad Paddle's entrance, correct?
Correct.
Okay, correct.
Is this on the West Street side or the Second Street?
On the West Street side.
West Street side?
Yeah.
And it don't say in the ordinance or in the resolution, but I'm assuming you probably need more than one parking space.
Yeah, we would typically, right there on the corner, mark off the next 2 spots so that the truck can pull in with the food truck behind it, and then he pulls up to the corner, and so it's 2 spots.
2 parking spots?
Yeah.
And you got your own safety cones and all that.
We've got our cones, yeah.
Okay.
Board, any additional questions?
Well, I like the fact that that the city's being proactive on, with the city council on working on a solution, long-term solution to this. I mean, just, you know, looking at other communities, food trucks has become popular in the last few years. And so, you know, to change with the times, I think it's good that the city is working toward this, toward a long-term solution. So.
There's an easier way to regulate food trucks than through our peddlers permit process and ordinance that really was designed to deal with the door-to-door salesman type activity. But again, Jerry, thanks for working with us on this. It's not going to catch every weekend in which you want to have a food truck there, so we'll just be nimble, and hopefully policy will catch up to actual practice around the community.
And what we'd like to do is, you know, this is our current list. Now, of course, with the weather last weekend, you know, that food truck canceled, so you tried to reschedule them. So my understanding is this meeting is once a month?
Twice a month.
Oh, twice a month.
Twice a month.
Okay, so then as we schedule them, if we can just continue to add them to the agenda, is that
Absolutely.
okay to keep
Sure.
doing?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that. And again, along the way, we'll figure out a smoother process where it doesn't have to be an agenda item. It can be a process inside City Hall. Any comments or questions from the audience?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 6.
I'll second Carl's motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up will be the Molly Dattilo 5K run and, oh, I'm sorry, Madison, Chautauqua, excuse me. I'm sorry, how you doing?
Good. So I'm on the runner.
Yep.
Is there any change from the footprint from last year?
No.
Okay. All right, this is resolution number 7-2022, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana regarding a street closing for the Madison Chautauqua. And this is for, starting at 8 a.m. on Friday, September 23rd, 2022, until 8 p.m. Sunday, September 25th, 2022. And the footprint is the same as previously.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you think it went last year? How did that work out? Because it was a little bit change and, you know, the drop off and the traffic management on Main Street and then the golf carts and then moving the beginning of the venues down to Broadway. I thought it went,
I think everything went well. We didn't see any concerns with the golf cart traffic. It wasn't as dangerous as we thought it could potentially be with the pedestrians at Vine and Second Street. So I think that worked well. And so as a committee, we got together and we decided, or basically had one meeting and said, last year worked, let's do it again.
great, good deal. Any comments or questions? Same footprint and well attended last year, is
Last year was
even kind of
fantastic.
coming
Our
back. and
artists reported record-breaking sales last year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm making a motion we approve resolution 7.
Okay. I'll second resolution number 7-2022. Any discussion? Any comments or questions from the audience? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya. All right, now we're getting to the running part. Molly Dattilo 5K run and walk.
Any change? This is resolution number 8-2022, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closings for the Molly Dattilo 5K run walk. That's to be held from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturday, May 14th, 2022.
Good morning. Paul, how you doing?
Actually, there is a big change, not with the streets, but, and I had a vision from, I don't know however long ago it is, but, there was some construction going down at Crystal Beach, and, Damon Welk said, why don't you just do it at, Bicentennial Park? And we said, well, we can work around that, you know, that's where we've been doing it, kids like to come there. But, so I filled out the form for Crystal Beach, but then as I was turning it in, the lady at the front desk said, you know, that's not gonna work. So Damon came back and, I said, well, can we do it at,
Bicentennial?
yeah, and, they said, yeah. So that's, so we have that secured. It's not gonna change anything, road-wise, we're just moving it up a few blocks.
It'd be a good spot. You've got the restrooms there, plenty of gathering area, so it'd be a good spot.
Could be forever, but what's not good about it, we always have to prepare for rain. There's not much place to have shelter. You know, with people going into the shelter down there is, you know, just a weight off, you know, but still, I think it's a great possibility.
Madison Wrestling had a 5K that started, actually it ended there a couple of years ago, and they had canopies up just for that purpose, and it did rain.
Yeah.
But something to consider,
Yeah,
Paul,
yeah,
if you wanted to
yeah.
do that.
Mhm.
Board, any questions, for Paul?
Now, I just had a question about the resolution. Item number 1 says Vaughn Drive from 160 feet east of Ferry Street to Vernon Street. Shouldn't that be west of Ferry Street?
Yeah,
So we
east would
keep
take you
the-
the wrong direction, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I think we want to
Well-
keep the entrance open to the,
Oh, fair to the campground?
well, to the Riverboat Inn. We normally close
Yes.
Vaughn Drive up to the Riverboat Inn entrance.
To the west of 3rd Street.
let's think about the course for just a second, Paul. Because will the runners come down Ferry Street and then down?
They go
Bond Drive?
across Ferry Street. And actually,
Oh, they cross Ferry Street. Do they do a loop in the campground and come back around?
Mhm.
That's why that is there.
and all the campers are cool with it, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, when we first thought of doing that, we thought, well, let's just wait and see. Because
Do they do a loop through the campground or
Yeah.
just do a turnaround at the campground? I've ran it several times. I just don't
They
remember.
do a loop.
Okay.
And like I said,
That's why it's the 160 feet east of Ferry.
yeah,
Okay. And there's still another entrance into the riverboat.
yeah, she's never complained about that,
Yeah.
I've talked to her about
Gotcha.
it, she's a sponsor.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Man,
you
it's just
guys-
one thing that we, in the past, whenever we close Bond Drive, we always go to the, up to the entrance
A riverboat.
at the river.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you always take care of all the barricades, no painting on the street, those kind of things, right?
You know, we have a real expensive waterproof striping thing for the start line and all that, and the turns.
Okay, so I'm saying our street department, you want to comment on the
Chalk or tape
striping
there.
for the
Chalk or tape, Mayor?
chalk or tape? Something that is immediately removable, is what you're commenting on?
No, what we've used, and it's been approved, I don't know how long you've been at it, but, it's a chalk, I mean, not a chalk, a chalk type of, and we paint it on, but it washes off with rain.
It's a chalk that washes off.
Right.
Okay.
And what we did, we just said, tell us what we can use, and
Yep.
they gave it to us, and then we ordered it.
Okay, well, we'll just approve this and knowing that we need to, use striping that's not permanently marking on the streets, and we'll coordinate that with the street department. Is that okay, Paul?
Yeah,
All right.
you mean, so I'm talking to the street department about it, or? they're-
Yes, yes, just, I mean, we'll approve the street closure today,
Yeah,
and so let's just make sure the street department knows what material you're using and that it's not gonna leave any permanent marking on it.
You need to talk to Kenny.
Kenny or Tony back there,
okay,
Yeah.
all right,
we'll work that out with you.
okay.
And with that, I make a motion that we approve resolution 8-2022.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? Comments or questions? Thank you, Paul. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. And moving on, we have, Noah's here to, discuss a street closing for Life Choices Walk for Life. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Board. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Is there any change?
No, sir.
All right, this is resolution number 9-2022, resolution of Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana. Regarding street closing for Life Choices, clinic, Walk for Life, and this is 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, May 7th, 2022.
Good morning. Want to tell us a little bit about the event and just the course?
Yes, sir. So we go from the west side of the bridge, from JC Park down Bond Drive and turn around and come back. Last year we had over 300 walkers and raised over $30,000, which helps us to continue to keep going. And so we're hoping to have it bigger, better this year. We're looking forward to it, praying for good weather. So
That's great. So appreciate everything you're doing.
thank you.
Board, any questions?
It's a great cause, there's no doubt about that. I make a motion we approve resolution 9-2022.
I'll second that motion.
Any comments or questions? Comments or questions from the audience? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
You too.
Okay, let's move into the Very Merry Christmas Parade, which is the street and parking lot closing for the City of Madison Very Merry Christmas Parade.
I tell you what, I think we can do these in a batch.
And the Very Merry Christmas
Has
celebration.
there been any changes to the
No.
footprints?
The only thing that we changed this year is for the Very Merry Christmas celebration, we moved it to Bicentennial, which is the same street closures as the Halloween festival.
Okay.
And then the Regatta Parade, we did change the time on that, we pushed it back an hour, so it'll start at 6 instead of 7 this year.
Okay, so we've got this is resolution number 10-2022 for the Very Merry Christmas Parade to be held on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. At the times noted below, looks like from basically 10 to 1 p.m. and then the other event from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we have number 11, which is the Christmas celebration that she just referred to. And that's on December 3rd, 2022, and that's to be held from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that's at Bicentennial Park. And then we have the Regatta Parade, which is number 12-2022.
Are you going to do them all?
Yeah, we did that.
New badge.
Okay, all right.
Because they're all city. You're okay with that?
Yep, sorry, keep going.
Yep. Number 12-2022, this is for the Madison Regatta Parade to be held on Friday, July the 11th. And the following streets are going to be closed from 3 p.m. until Friday, till the end of the parade on Friday, July the 1st, 2022. And the other is for the Halloween Festival. This is number 13-2022. And that's to be held on Saturday, October 29th, 2022. And that's from, streets will be closed from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, October 29th, 2022. I believe that's Bicentennial Park.
Correct.
Around it. Okay.
So these are all street closures for city-sponsored events.
Correct.
I have a question for you, which is, wasn't the Very Merry Christmas celebration at Broadway Park after the parade?
Yes, it was this past year, but we've decided to move it down to Bicentennial so there's more room to spread out people. Last year we had a lot of trouble with lines getting crowded and moved in different directions to reindeer and Santa, so we decided to move it down so we have a lot more space to spread everyone out.
I will have to say that was really popular. There was a lot of people there, and I think the farmers market enjoyed the activity because it was going on at the same time. And it was right there where the parade was versus blocks away. So, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, we want to try it out this year.
I'm just a little concerned you may not have the same level of participation because everything was right there, and as people came off of Main Street enjoying the parade, they came right to Broadway and enjoyed all of it. It was fantastic. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic.
So that is correct, but this year we're actually making it a larger event. So we're bringing in, you'll get to this later, we're going to have a carousel there, we're going to have bounce houses, the ice skating rink we're hoping to do a little bit larger. We're going to have balloon artists, kind of like the same thing we did for the Halloween festival that I know you were at. And talking to parents that were at the Halloween festival this year, because we moved it from Main Street down to Bicentennial Park, they said they felt much more comfortable attending because it was easier to keep the kids corralled in a safe area and not have to worry about them darting into the streets. And with us wanting to make it larger, we want to get it into Bicentennial Park, and just really it's for the safety of the kids because they run into the street, all sorts of things. We also had some issues with the road closures and just blocking of traffic because there's already so many with the parade, and we have to shut it down early to be able to set up all these things. So that means that gets closed, so traffic has to be rerouted again from Main Street. So that's some of the things we took into consideration. It's very crowded.
It was a fantastic event, so kudos to that, and it sounds like you've given it a lot of thought as to what the venue should be, and we're really trying to accommodate an even bigger and merrier, very Merry Christmas. Board, we have resolutions 10, 11, 12, and 13 for these 4 city-sponsored events.
And we're also approving, if we do approve these, the cost
We're doing the contracts separately?
Move the contract
separately. Okay.
Yep. Okay, well, I'll move that we approve resolutions 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Second mayor's motion.
Board, any discussion? Comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. That brings us down to BYB contracts for the Halloween Festival and Christmas celebration.
So we are using the same company that we used last year. There's some awesome people who are really helpful. For our Halloween festival, we are bringing in the 9-hole mini golf again. We're doing airbrush tattoos, a balloon artist, a trackless train, a circus train, which is a bouncy house. We're bringing in some clowns, a Ferris wheel, skee ball, and some stow walkers. So we have a lot of things for families and kids to enjoy. And for our Christmas, as Hannah had mentioned, we are bringing in some more this year. So we are returning with the mini golf. We're bringing in the balloon artist, the same one that will be at our Halloween festival. Bringing in the carousel, trackless train again, and the gingerbread skating house and ice skating rink.
Was this the same train Hannah would not let me drive?
Well, I'd say yes, but they did get a new one, so this one looks a little nicer.
How many people attended the last Very Merry Christmas, and what's your anticipation of this year's participation?
I don't know, we don't have numbers. We don't have numbers because all our events are free, so there's no ticketing.
So it's in the thousands is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you were at both of them, and it was crazy. So I know at the Halloween festival, we passed out over like 1,200 goodie bags to kids. Yeah. So that's definitely growing. The Halloween festival's growing, and then the Christmas one was just this past year. So I think that will grow, especially with it being down at Bicentennial this year. And one thing actually I didn't mention too is we have a partnership with local food trucks that we invite down to our events. We don't charge them to be at our events at all. Halloween festival, every single food vendor sold out. So
Okay. And they're all self-sufficient, we don't supply them any fire.
we don't do anything. We provide them the space because we do that little road closure right in front of Bicentennial, and that's it. They sold out at the Halloween festival. Christmas was harder because it's colder, but I know that the popcorn, honestly, the popcorn sold out, and I'm pretty sure Pocahontas did as well. So yeah.
Well, I know you work hard as well to fundraise, to cover the cost of these events. It's great attraction for the community. The parade was spectacular. Halloween festival was spectacular. Kudos to all the planning and you guys that went into that and everybody that participated and set up booths. It's fantastic. And the petting zoo was also a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, we're returning the same company again this year for that. It'll be 20-ish animals. Normally they bring 20. They bring a full-size cows, some horses, goats, alpacas, you name it.
Can you do a goat impression?
No, I'm not doing it.
Can you do a horse
Just like
impression?
mine. No, nay.
What?
Nay.
What farm animal can you impersonate?
None. Margo. I'm not impersonating Margo. My goose. No.
That
I
would-
did my nay. You should be happy now.
Okay, wow. I'm sorry, I can't approve this without impersonation.
Do my
They won't let me drive the train, you think you got
And you only- oh, I just heard that. I think I just heard it go.
They do. Well, with that, then, I make a motion to approve the contract for the Halloween festival and both the festival and the Christmas festival.
I'll second Carl's motion.
And I will approve the impersonation. So all in favor on all three of those items, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. That was not very bad.
You got a year to practice.
Yes. All right, and we now will invite Nicole Shell, our Director of Building, Planning, and Preservation.
Sure, yes.
I think I got that almost right.
So the first on the agenda, I believe, is a contract with CWC Latitudes, or KPFF. We needed some supplemental engineering work at Crystal Beach to do value engineering due to some work because of the removal of the pool liner that was not in our original contract with the engineers. So the extra increase is an increase of $6,000 to our current contract with them. And that's not to exceed, we don't anticipate it being that much.
And we're really expecting that there's gonna be a net change order to the positive here, where the total contractual price is gonna go down.
Yes.
On the contract with, the pool group, this obviously is a soft cost that's outside of that, but, as Nicole had mentioned, there's value engineering going on. We did have an on-site meeting with all of the engineers and contractors and subcontractors last week at Crystal Beach. A couple things came out of that. One was they've already found some innovative ways to save money on the contract. And thus far, it looks like we are on schedule,
Yes.
which is good, because our targeted date to turn the pool over to the city is May 22nd, which is the week before Memorial Day weekend, which is our opening weekend. I'll make a motion, we approve the recommended supplemental work authorization to CWC Latitudes in the amount not to exceed $6,000.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Nicole, while you're here, let's talk about awesome PACE projects.
Sure. So your first PACE is for Midpoint review for Howard and Lisa Cutshaw at 907, 909 West 2nd Street. You can see their work in progress here. They've done a great job on this building. They've completed most of the windows.
Is that still a duplex, or that's single family now?
I believe it is still a duplex. But their request is for half of their amount, which is $3,750.
Did we only give one PACE grant, or is there two for this property?
It's just one. That's how they wanted to apply. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that they only requested for one.
Yep.
That, it'd be great in future to have the starting point, because the transformation on that property, which has been dilapidated and vacant for years and years and years, this property is looking fantastic. And that whole block, just continues to get more and more investment, and even behind that on First Street, it's going great.
That was $3,750.
Yes. And that's the only midpoint, and then I have finals. I'm not sure how you want to action.
All right, well,
I'll make a motion, we approve the Midpoint for 907, 909 West 2nd Street.
I'll second that. Any discussion? In favor, let's say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. All right.
Okay. The first final application, I believe on your agenda says 217, but it's actually 215 East 4th Street for Sharon Dagger. You can see in some of the work here, she needed to break in that doorway that they no longer use on the side. It was not original to the building, and then also participated in some tuck pointing. You can see the difference there. So that work was completed according to her PACE grant. She has not received any funds yet, so she's asking for the full disbursement of $1,987.
Great investment. I'm surprised it was that affordable. Okay, you wanna, so we're doing finals for, is it okay, board? We do
Yep.
all of them? Okay.
The next final is for 927 West First Street, MPT Reynolds. They work on this little building here on West First. Everything from siding, doors, windows, and then the rear. They added this
Look at that
porch
transformation.
deck.
That outdoor patio is fantastic.
Overlook Heritage Trail.
Yep. So they've completed their grant according to their documents and are asking for the full disbursement of $7,500.
The investment going on in this neighborhood's also been fantastic, and Mike and Melissa have led the way in that area, which is great. Okay.
The next final is for 1035 West Main Street, Michael and Kimberly Rourke. They've also completely renovated the structure, everything from the outside to the interior.
It's a brand new app.
Brand new house. Is it absolutely brand new house?
Yeah, that looks great.
It's one of 4 brand new houses there.
Right.
Right.
Yes, so they've completed everything according to their PACE grant. They've already received half the funds, so they're just asking for the remaining $12,500. So this was one that was dilapidated. You saw in their rear picture they had a hole in one of their structural walls, which was causing some issues. And the last final is for Marissa Christine Prime, 112 East 3rd Street. She worked on some tuck pointing and also all of her gable vents on this structure. So they did a great job of the tuck pointing that needed to be done, but really what's a big transformation is those gable vents. They were, I know the last picture wasn't great, but they were really not working. They were having issues with bats getting in, and so now they completely fixed those up. I believe these are all new composite ones, so they're not going to have the same deterioration issues. Her PACE grant was completed according to her paperwork. She's already received partial payment, so she's asking for the remaining $3,251.72.
It used to be the old Bell Telephone.
I was gonna ask you, that was the old telephone.
It is.
It has a couple of different offices in it now.
Nicole, do you have a total dollar amount of these final pay apps, please?
I do not. I can add them up for you.
I'll move that we approve the final PACE grant pay applications for 217 East 4th, 927 West 1st, or was that 215 East 4th?
215.
215 East 4th, 927 West 1st, 1035 West Main, and 112 East 3rd Street as presented.
I second the mayor's motion.
Any comments or questions? PACE just continues to transform some neighborhoods. Any comments or questions for anyone in the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
Thank you. So the total disbursement you just approved was $21,488.72.
$21,488.72, final payments on 1, 2, 3, 4 properties.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Or as we wind down here, next up is claims.
Mayor had an opportunity to review the claims. With that, I'll make a motion that the claims be approved and submitted.
I second David's motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Just a couple of comments. I want to thank the street department, both the city of Madison and Jefferson County and NDOT as well. As you know, we had really serious weather last Thursday and Friday. Remnants of it are still all across the community and the county. And I think all of our street crews across the county and with NDOT did a great job in working through the night to make the roads safe. Also, the community did a good job heeding the warnings with regards to the conditions of the roads. And I think a lot of planning went into it, and the execution of it was very good.
I agree, Mayor. I think our street department's second to none when it comes to clearing our streets. So, good shout out, Tony.
Guys did a good job.
Good job, Tom. Mention a couple other quick things. Brian's not here, but we continue to work on the rate study with our water rate consultant. And
When that might be ready?
well, I'm optimistic that we might see another turn of that document this week. and we'll have to continue to going through it, but it's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot of data that has to be gathered, particularly since it's been 14 years since the last rate study, and the amount of time that we've been involved in evaluating our rates. We've seen a very high inflationary environment, so there has to be adjustments to current operational expenses to account for our near-term future operational expenses, and then just a tremendous amount of data collection and evaluation with regards to the different rate tiers and the amount of investment that has to be applied to upgrade and modernize our clean drinking water infrastructure. As you know, City of Madison provides safe, clean drinking water for both drinking water and sanitation and fire suppression services to about 75% of the county. In an average year, we're pumping and distributing between 700 and 800 million gallons. So there was, again, just a tremendous amount of data. We'll keep you informed, but we may see some more progress on it this week.
Mayor, has there been any feedback from the county on the requests?
They've taken it under advisement is probably the best way to characterize it. They too are waiting for the outcome of our rate study, but they've not made any commitment above what they did quite a few months ago, which I believe was contributing around $200,000 toward our $13 million project. I will mention that the federal government released final ARPA rules and regulations, and that has also changed communities like ours and the county and other units of government that receive $10 million or less. That's changed what the requirements are on how those monies can be spent, and it's honestly made it more flexible. So we're working on a number of projects all across the community, and I hope that the commissioners and county council and city council will be involved in many of those projects. That's good for the city and Jefferson County, but we'll still have to have lots of conversations with them as we get more data. I'll mention too that we continue to make good progress in our flood mitigation planning. As you know, we did the vegetation remediation. That work has already been completed, and we are working with the Army Corps of Engineers. They have completed the first part of their assessment with regards to planning on solutions and infrastructure requirements needed to help mitigate future flooding events. They're now moving into the next phase of that, which is the hydrological analysis, and that's really looking at water volumes and the watershed and water flows, both from the eastern part of the county and the northern part of the county that drain into the Crooked Creek watershed. So as we've said all along, that process is going to take almost a year, so we'll be talking about that and looking at recommendations that they give us later this summer and early fall. And then the last thing I'll mention is that February is Black History Month, so we have a very good agenda for tomorrow night's city council meeting. Invite the community to come to that, and also invite the board to come to that. And we will be issuing a proclamation in support and honoring our history, City of Madison's history, and particularly that of the Black community in our city and Jefferson County. But we have a really good program lined up for tomorrow night's city council program. I'm very much looking forward to it.
What time will it be?
That will be at 5:30 tomorrow here in City Council chambers. And then one final note is that Governor Holcomb did extend the public health emergency declaration. It goes now until, I believe, March the 4th. It was extended 1 month.
Have we changed the color here in county?
I think the entire state continues to be red, and everybody should take proper precautions with regards to vaccinations and mask wearing, and particularly, being cautious with in crowded indoor spaces where it seems like there's a prevalence there, and certainly if the trends continue, with regards to the strain on our healthcare system, particularly as a result of, illnesses with unvaccinated individuals. So, need to be cautious, continuing to be cautious there. Board, anything to add for the community?
I noticed the Victorian Inn is really starting to shape up.
Looking great, isn't it?
It is, it's a nice improvement to the neighborhood. Big deal.
It's a fantastic improvement neighborhood. Anybody else? Clerk, anything? Okay. Any public comment? Hearing none? We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved, I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, everyone.
We have to sign all those resolutions.
I saw that, didn't have to star. You're a numbers guy.
Yeah.